Good morning, Monroe. Today is Thursday, April 9th, and today we are celebrating Lena, one of our kindergarten students. Happy birthday, Lena. We will also be listening to a book today from Mrs. Brooks. Mrs. Pfisterer is going to be telling us about one of her favorite flowers, and we are going to be doing a craft with Mrs. Brandt. Enjoy.
Hi Monroe, happy Thursday. Welcome back to Books with Brooks. Today we are going to be reading a story called Miss Rumphius. This is by Barbara Cooney. I chose this book because this week we've been celebrating nature, and maybe you've been outside this week and you've been seeing a lot of flowers bloom just like in this book. I love this time of the year. I'm looking at all the pretty flowers. So let's read Miss Rumphius. The lupine lady lived in a small house overlooking the sea. In between the rocks around her house grew blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. The lupine lady is a little old, but she has not always been that way. I know, because she is my great aunt, and she told me so. Once upon a time, she was a little girl named Alice, who lived in a city by the sea. From the front stoop, she could see the wharves and the bristling masts of tall ships. Many years ago, her grandfather had come to America on a large sailing ship. Now, he worked in the shop at the bottom of the house, making figureheads for the prows of ships and carving Indians out of wood to put in front of cigar stores. For Alice's grandfather was an artist. He painted pictures, too, of sailing ships and places across the sea. When he was very busy, Alice helped him put in the skies. You can see Alice painting the sky. In the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee and listened to his stories of faraway places. When he had finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places. And when I grow old, I too will live by the sea." "That is all very well, little Alice," said her grandfather, "but there is a third thing you must do." "What is that?" asked Alice. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful," said her grandfather. "All right," said Alice, but she didn't know what that could be. In the meantime, Alice got up, washed her face, and ate her porridge for breakfast. She went to school and came home and did her homework, and pretty soon she was grown up. Then my great aunt Alice set out to do the 3 things she had told her grandfather she was going to do. She left home and went to live in another city far from the sea and the salt air. There she worked in a library, dusting books and keeping them from getting mixed up, and helping people find the ones they wanted. Some of the books told her about faraway places. People called her Miss Rumphius now. So she's a grown-up. Sometimes she went to the conservatory in the middle of the park. When she stepped inside on a wintry day, the warm, moist air wrapped itself around her, and the sweet smell of jasmine filled her nose. "This is almost like a tropical isle," said Miss Rumphius, "but not quite." So Miss Rumphius went to a real tropical island where people kept cockatoos and monkeys as pets. She walked on long beaches, picking up beautiful shells. One day, she met the Bapa Raja, king of a fishing village. "You must be tired," he said. "Come into my house and rest." So Miss Rumphius went in and met the Baba Raja's wife. The Baba Raja himself fetched a green coconut and cut a slice off the top so Miss Rumphius could drink the coconut water inside. Before she left, the Baba Raja gave her a beautiful mother-of-pearl shell on which he had painted a bird of paradise and the words, "You will always remain in my heart. You will always remain in mine too," said Miss Rumphius. That looks like a beautiful island. My great aunt Miss Alice Rumphius climbed tall mountains where the snow never melted. She went through jungles and across deserts. She saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping, and everywhere she made friends she would never forget. Finally, she came to the land of the lotus eaters, and there, getting off a camel, she hurt her back. "What a foolish thing to do," said Miss Rumphius. "Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it's time to find my place by the sea." And it is, and it was, and that's what she did. From the porch of her new house, Miss Rumphius watched the sun come up. She watched it cross the heavens and sparkle on the water, and she saw it set glory in the evening. She started a little garden among the rocks that surrounded her house, and she planted a few flower seeds in the stony ground. Miss Rumphius was almost perfectly happy. "But there is still one more thing I have to do," she said. "I have to do something to make the world more beautiful." "But what? The world is already pretty nice," she thought, looking over the ocean. I wonder what she's going to do. The next spring, Miss Rumphius was not very well. Her back was bothering her again, and she had to stay in bed most of the time. The flowers she had planted the summer before had come up and bloomed in spite of the stony ground. She could see them from her bedroom window, blue and purple and rose-colored. "Lupines," said Miss Rumphius with satisfaction. "I have always loved lupines the best. I wish I could plant more seeds this summer so that I could have more flowers next year," but she was unable to do so. After a hard winter, spring came. Miss Rumphius was feeling much better. Now she could take walks again. One afternoon, she started to go up and over the hill where she had not been in a long time. "I don't believe my eyes," she cried when she got to the top. For there on the other side of the hill was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-colored lupines. "It was the wind," she said as she knelt in delight. "It was the wind that brought the seeds from my garden here, and the birds must have helped." Then Miss Rumphius had a wonderful idea. She hurried home and she got out her seed catalogs. She sent off to the very best seed house for 5 bushels of lupine seeds. All that summer, Miss Rumphius, her pockets full of seeds, wandered over fields and headlands, swooing lupines. She scattered seeds along the highways and down the country lanes. She flung handfuls of them around the schoolhouse and the back of the church. She tossed them into hollows and along stone walls. Her back didn't hurt her anymore. Now, some people called her the crazy old lady. The next spring, where the lupines were everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed along the highways and down lanes. Bright patches laid around the schoolhouse and back of the church. Down in the hollows and along the stone walls grew the beautiful flowers. Miss Rumphius had done the third, the most difficult thing of all. My great Aunt Alice, Miss Rumphius, is very old now. Her hair is very white. Every year there are more and more lupines. Now they call her the Lupine Lady. Sometimes my friends stand with me outside her gate, curious to see the old lady who planted the fields of lupines. When she invites us in, they come slowly. They think she is the oldest woman in the world. Often, she tells us stories of faraway places. When I grow up, I tell her, I too will go to faraway places and come home to live by the sea. That is very well, little Alice, says my aunt, but there is a third thing you must do. What is that? I ask. You must do something to make the world more beautiful. All right, I say. But I do not know yet what that can be. So I challenge you, Monroe, to do one thing that can make the world a more beautiful place. Be creative, and I can't wait to see you again. Bye.
Hi Monroe, it's Mrs. Pfisterer. I hope you're all doing well. I sure do miss you, but I'm having some fun time with my granddaughter Relly. And today I'm going to tell you about my favorite spring flower that actually reminds me of when I was a little girl. Every spring my parents would have one, and oh, the fragrance just filled up the entire house. And then my dad would take them outside and plant them. So I've been doing the same thing with mine. I have some over here from other years that I plant. So this plant will come back every year. So it begins as a bulb, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And it starts just kind of small and tight. And then it will start to grow, or not really grow, but just open up a little bit bigger until it gets to be this size and so heavy. So today I'm going to plant this out front of my flower bed. So I will let you see what that looks like. It doesn't start from a seed. It comes back every year. And there's lots and lots of roots, and then there is a bulb inside. My only problem is that I sometimes have to share them with the squirrels that are in my neighborhood. So in order to plant this, I will dig a little hole, move the tan bark out of the way, and just dig down through the soil. Make sure the roots are out a little bit. Put some dirt around. I'm also going to put some water in, and believe it or not, this water can was my dad's. So I'm just keeping the tradition. Put a little bit of water. You can really see the roots in the bowl. I have to dig a little bit deeper. So now I have one of them outside. We'll see how that stands up. But sometimes when they get a little heavy, they just fold over in outside as well. And I think that one's going to do it, but let's see if little Relly would like to see that. Maybe she would like to see that flower. See, Relly? Look at that flower. Yeah, maybe you can do that same thing. So boys and girls, I hope you're having a great time, especially since it's spring and we can get outside to play since we can't be in school. And I hope that I get to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Hey Monroe, today we're going to be making coffee filter butterflies. So the first thing that you're going to need are 4 coffee filters that look like this. You're going to need some markers that are water soluble, which would either be your Crayola markers or something that is washable. Pipe cleaner. This will be your antenna for your butterfly. If you don't have pipe cleaners, you could probably use a piece of wire or those little twisty things that go around bread, something like that. You're also going to need water. You're either going to need a little small bowl of water with a paintbrush or a spray bottle, or you can also use your hands for the water as well. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to get 2 of your 4 coffee filters and you're going to flatten them out. I'm using this cookie tray so that I don't get marker all over my countertop. Going to design butterfly wings. So you can do little, you could divide it into 4s, you could do squiggles, you could do anything that you want on this coffee filter. Make sure that your entire coffee filter is covered with color. Okay, so if you don't have a spray bottle and you're using a paintbrush and water, you're just going to dip your paintbrush in there and you're just going to making sure that you still have both of your coffee filters on here, you're just going to put water on here. If you have a spray bottle, I'll show you how you can do that. So you can just get your spray bottle and spray some water on the coffee filter till the whole thing is saturated. You're going to pick up your coffee filters and you're going to separate the two layers like so. And you're going to get a paper towel and you're going to lay them on the paper towel. Now that your coffee filters have dried, we're going to put together your butterfly. So, show you this. You're going to take your wings and you're going to start folding them back and forth, back and forth. I'm going to take them and you're going to put them together kind of like and overlap each other. And you're going to do that to all four. I already did these here. Then, once that's finished, you're going to put the two pieces together in the middle like this. And you're going to take your pipe cleaner, fold it in half, put it right in the middle there. Twist a couple times to hold those in place. Then you can fluff out your wings a little bit. And then you could take your antennas and give them a little curl to look like a real butterfly. And there you have it. There's your coffee filter butterfly.
Hello, Monroe. Miss Jill here. Joke of the day. What does a bee use to comb its hair? It uses a honeycomb. Bye, Monroe.
As always, be kind and leave a legacy. I will see you tomorrow.